Ladies and gentlemen, join us this week on ModiMakes as he lays down them sexy strokes on that fine artwork. One day only at Da Bon Marché.
What's good, everybody? I'm Modi. This is ModiMakes, and today we're going to be getting into something that I've been wanting to do for quite a long time. You've seen it all over the internet. You know it. You love it. We're doing custom painted skate decks. That is right. And, there's a couple things we got to do just to prepare the boards before we get into the actual painting. So I will explain that as we go, and let's get into it. Alrighty, so it's time to get the boards prepared so that I can get a layer of spray paint down on them and just make sure that everything's all smoothed out for when I want to paint on top of them later, which means it's time to get the power tools out. I'm going to be pulling out the rotary sander here and just going through a bunch of different, levels of grit to get it really, really fine and smooth. It makes you feel like a man! We got this bad boy all silky smooth. It is gorgeous to feel. So I've got 2 more boards to do this to because I'm eventually going to end up making 3, but honestly you guys don't need to watch me do those because it's the exact same process. I literally just went from an 80 grit to 120 to 150 and then 220 and then 320 grit just to get it super smooth so everything will take very nicely. You probably don't even need to go that high with the grit, but I have a rotary sander and I love using it. It makes you feel like a man! So I just kind of went overboard with it. And you gotta make sure to say hello to the good girl on the way in and out of the garage. Hello, Mika. What's up, puppy? Got anything to say to the people, huh? Yeah. Oh, so cute. So now we get to some of the more fun parts of it, like actually spray painting the board. But before we can get into that, we got to make sure to tape off all of the grip tape on the bottom and set it up so obviously none of the paint gets onto the grip tape and we can get the sides of the board and everything. So let's do that real quick. Almost forgot. Gotta tape up the holes on the other side. Alright, now we're good. For some reason this can is dripping all over the place, which is super annoying. Alright, we got our first base coat down. Hopefully I can figure out how to fix this dripping. That's gonna be really annoying if I can't. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is create a stencil that I'm going to use for some extra spray paint on that same board, and I'm creating a stencil of a pine forest. And to make this I'm using construction paper, which is really bringing me back to my childhood. Construction paper got you feeling like a kid again, hey yo. But the best part about this construction paper is it's glittery. But anyways, I got this rough sketch in and I'm just going to cut it out with a X-Acto knife. Then I'm going to use it for a stencil. Already screwed it up on the first cut. Wow. I'm having a bad art day today, guys. I'm just really not feeling it, There you have it. The glitter forest is ready. I guess back to spray painting. Let's play God and build a forest, shall we? Okay, it's definitely there, but I'm gonna have to wait for it to dry before I take off the tape and stuff because I don't want to mess it up. So now to seal in the spray paint and make sure that the paint pens play really nicely together, we're gonna set down a layer of matte medium. So that just means grabbing your bottle of matte medium and grabbing a good old house painting brush so that I'm not here for eons trying to do it with a normal paintbrush, because that would be stupid. And now one of the worst parts about working on pieces like this, the forced break, where you gotta wait for it to dry. So I'm just gonna go clean off my brush really quick and probably work on the sketch for this a little bit longer. Now we've come to the time where we get to transfer over the sketch, and to do that I'm just going to be drawing a simple doodle grid on this. Essentially all a doodle grid is you just draw random shapes all over your surface here, and then like I said, you take a picture of it and then you can line up all the line work based on where your little doodles are. That should work out, and then I just got to take a picture and mess around with it on Procreate. Finally, it's time to get to the good stuff with good old Posca Pens! But first, before we get to blocking colors and whatnot, I just need to put on the black outlines for everything so I can keep all of the sketch parts separated, especially in like the fur here and everything, because if I just block that in, obviously I'd lose all of my amazing sketch work that I worked so hard on, so that would be stupid. Let's get into it. Alright, so now I have all of the initial line work done and I can start working on the fills. So I'm just going to use these black lines as little go-betweens, basically try to go over them a little bit with the fill colors, but you know, not completely cover them up so I can tell where the line work is, and in the end I'm going to come back in and redraw all the top line work to make it really clean and very nice. So hopefully it works out. Okay, so something that's gonna be really important here while I'm doing the fill is to work from top to bottom instead of just kind of sporadically going about the piece like I normally do, just because I'm gonna be laying down a lot of pigment and a lot of paint, and I don't wanna worry about smearing it or getting it on my hands and then getting it somewhere else on the piece. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to be kind of methodical about this, which is not something I generally like to do in my art, just because, I don't know, it's frustrating sometimes. Cool, so now that I've gotten all my basic fill colors in and my line work set up on top of it, all the outlines looking real crisp and nice and clean and everything, I can get on to doing some more of the highlights and shadows and the detail work that's really gonna make all this pop and make it look a lot less like basic clip art kind of thing. Hopefully it all comes out well, we'll see. Alright, so the piece is finished. All I have to do now is sign it, and then I'm gonna put on a layer of this gloss medium on top of it as like a varnish, just so I can, you know, protect the painting from any damage and from UV light and stuff like that, and also so it'll give it a nice glossy finish, because I think that'll look really nice. I was gonna do it with resin, but unfortunately the art shop that I go to just wasn't selling anything that wasn't absurdly huge. So I'm just gonna go with the gloss medium. It should still look really good. And then after I get that stuff done, we'll get into the final shots. And thank you guys so much for watching. This video was a ton of fun to make. This project was a ton of fun to work on. And you guys might remember that in the beginning of the video when I was doing the sanding, I had mentioned that I was working on a couple other boards as well. And those are gonna be coming out soon. So if you like this video, keep your eyes out for those. Hit that notification bell to see when those videos come out. I just didn't want to put it all into one video and not really be able to go into depth about each piece. So it's gonna be a multi-part series of me doing these skateboard pieces. So keep your eyes out for those. And you know, if you liked the video today, then give me a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. It helps out a ton. And if you like the channel and like what I do here and want to support me, then subscribe, please, man. That would be awesome. I really appreciate it if you do. Anyways, other than that, you guys let me know down in the comments what you thought about this piece. Thanks so much. All right. Alrighty, time to get her looking all nice and glossy, and then we're good to go for the final shots. Oh, should probably turn on this light. There we go. Guys, I fucked up. I fucked up big time. I fumbled it on the 1 yard line, and all I can say is don't take shortcuts in your art when you're using materials that you don't know super well. I should have just waited. I should have ordered resin online and just done the sealing later. But I wanted it to look as good as it possibly could for you guys. You might remember that I used that gloss medium that said that it could be used as varnish, and it can, but you're supposed to wait like a week at least for all of your acrylics to fully set before you use it, fully dry, everything, even on the under layers, even if it's dry to the touch, keep waiting. And I knew that, but I thought it would be okay because of how fast Posca Pens dry. And, well, you'll see in the final shots better, but I guess this just picked up too much paint, because even against the blacks and stuff, it's hazy white, and against the whites, it's this brown color from the fur that it's picked up. And I ruined the piece at literally the last possible minute. And it's incredibly frustrating. And I'm super upset with myself, but it's okay. it's a learning curve every time when you're using things that you don't normally use. And, you know, I won't forget this. And I'm still gonna put it up, and it's gonna remind me every single day not to do what I did. And to be smarter about it and work just that little bit extra hard and don't cut corners. I'm still gonna put in the final shots and show you guys, and you know, it's not gonna look as good as it did, unfortunately. But I want to be honest with you guys, and I want you to know that I make mistakes all the time too when I'm working in my art. All the time. So please forgive me, and don't be too harsh on yourselves. If you guys are working on art out there and you make mistakes, just know that, I don't know, I've been doing this for 20 years, pretty much 20 years. And I mess up all the time too, even on big projects. So I guess I'll say thanks for watching again. And I'm sorry that I can't give you the satisfaction of seeing something that's perfect. But please continue to watch, and I've got 2 more boards that I'm going to be making just in this series here. So I'll take what I've learned here, and I'm not going to mess up the next one. The next one's also going to be for the studio here, so I'll have them side by side and we can see the difference and everything. So yeah, catch you next time.
All around me are familiar faces.